Hi, my name's Kate Joseph. As a part of my university degree for communications at the moment, I'm doing a subject called News and Politics. In this subject, I've been asked to write a news story on a social news issue, and I have chosen to do it on the changing DSM guidelines for ASD. Now, with me at the moment, I have Michelle Ovens, who is a mother and an expert in the field. So she has a son who actually has Asperger's, and today she's here to talk to me about how life is with that. Okay? All right. So Michelle, I just thought I'd start out by asking, what is your son's name and how old is he?
My little boy, his name is Jamie, and he's nearly 7.
Okay, no worries. And how old was Jamie when he was diagnosed?
It was 5 years and 9 months.
Okay.
It took about 9 months to get diagnosed.
Okay, 9 months. No worries. And what was the process for getting the diagnosis?
We initially went to the psychologist at Minds and Hearts, who gave us a provisional diagnosis of Asperger's and sensory processing disorder.
Okay.
Then she suggested we go to University of Queensland to get a cognitive assessment, and we got the WIPSI 3 done, which showed his IQ at the time. We then got a speech therapist assessment, we got an occupational therapist assessment, and we had to go and get a paediatrician as well to do an ascertainment, which basically brings it all together and says, yes, I confirm that I've read all the reports and they all meet the criteria of having autism spectrum disorder.
Okay. So pretty
It was
deep
huge.
process.
It was huge.
Okay. Yep. All right. No worries. Now, does Jamie take part in an early intervention program?
Yes, he does. His time's nearly finished now.
Okay.
They only get funding for 2 years.
Now, how does this assist in his development?
It's been really important. We have learned exactly where his issues are with his sensory, with his autism. We've learned how he works, how his mind works, how his behaviour affects his daily life.
Okay.
We've incorporated massive amounts of strategies, tools, techniques, therapies at home, in the school system.
Okay.
It's been phenomenal. It's been the best thing we ever did.
Yeah?
Yeah, because before we thought he was just naughty.
Yes.
And we couldn't figure out why he was doing the things he was doing, why he was screaming in public, why he was really sensitive to bright lights and noises. And, he would just have this meltdown, but we didn't know it was that. We just thought it was like a tantrum.
Right.
And we had no idea how to deal with it, what was happening for him.
Yeah.
And then when he got assessed, it was, all these lights came on. It was just
it made
fantastic.
sense.
Oh,
yeah.
And now we understand how he is, and we can help him so much better.
Yeah, rather than, I guess, looking at it in a bad way. It's, him being naughty, it's now...
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Now, how hard would it have been not having access to support or funding for these programs?
I can't even begin to imagine how our life would have been without the therapists that we've had.
Okay.
Our occupational therapist, Katie, she's been the world's most incredible asset, I have to say. She's been a great sounding board. She's led us on extraordinary paths. I'm so grateful, and without that, I think we'd still be struggling terribly.
Okay.
We had a great support network.
Okay.
Our GP was fantastic.
Okay. And what sort of, having the support and funding, and I guess having the diagnosis, what does that lead you into? What are you able to get that other people wouldn't be able to get then? They're able to go into, say, programs such as, at Autism Queensland or AEIOU, stuff like that. Is there?
Well, Jamie probably still would have been able to go, considering that he's borderline autism, Asperger's.
Okay.
But it certainly would have made it a lot harder.
Okay.
He did need that diagnosis.
Yeah.
The early intervention probably helped a lot more, where we now have a framework or a foundation for, because he's actually going to Autism Queensland next year, so for them to say, right, we see where he's at, we see where he's come from, where he's got to, so we know exactly where he lays and lies and what's happening for him.
Okay.
But I think it's really helped him significantly with the coping techniques.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the meltdowns were huge for him.
Yeah. I assume you've heard of the proposed DSM guidelines for ASD. How will these changes affect young children with Asperger's?
most Aspies are high functioning. So they exhibit as normal kids. You'll see them and you'll say, but you know, they're just badly behaved or something like that. It's really hard to pick unless you spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
So they may slip through the cracks with this new diagnosis or this new method of diagnosing. It's gone from incorporating the PDD, NOS, and the Asperger and autism, Rett syndrome, and all that. It's now gone from diagnosing them with those fairly specific conditions to either being severe, moderate, or mild, or just exhibiting some characteristics but not affecting daily life.
Okay.
But with an Asperger, it does affect daily life.
Right.
It really, really does. Like you'll find that some of them will be sensitive to having their teeth brushed, to having their hair brushed, to wearing certain clothes because it's got a seam in it or it's got a tag in it.
Okay.
It may be that it's not the right colour. It might have stripes that may throw them out. Just the littlest things which you cannot put an exact figure from 1 to 10 on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just going to affect it so much.
Okay.
Really. But the other side of it too, the DSM's now bringing in sensory processing disorder. So that's made that a bit easier in that regard.
Okay.
I think parents need to be aware of, is it affecting that child's daily life or not?
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
We've actually started the Jamie IM Foundation. Well, actually, we haven't officially started it yet because we still need a treasurer.
Okay.
But that'll be specified for autism awareness, education, advocacy, and it's specifically helping people who fall outside the early intervention. So people who are 7 years and up, because not everybody gets diagnosed before they're 7. My brother was diagnosed at 44.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so with Asperger's, and they're falling through the cracks, and
Right.
not everybody has access to funds by their own personal bank accounts.
Yeah.
And therapists cost a lot. Like an OT is about $160 an hour
That's
for 45
so
minutes.
expensive.
Speech is the same.
Yeah.
So it costs a lot of money for it, and
Yeah, without the help and
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and I guess as well, like from what I've heard, the Asperger groups are pretty tight knit.
yes,
So without that support as well, I think that's such a big thing too.
Yeah.
You know, but I assume even without the diagnosis, that'll probably stay the same. The groups will still.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll probably stick together.
And a lot of them will know. They'll
Yeah.
keep that tradition going
Yeah.
that they're an Asperger. They really want to
Even
hold
if-
on to that.
Yeah, that's right. Even
Yeah.
if they're not actually specifically diagnosed. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it was called Jamie IM.
Yes.
Okay, and it's when are you launching that?
Oh, we're
When's
hoping to have launched it already.
Okay.
Yeah, the treasurer has been really challenging to find someone who is very good with money,
Right.
obviously,
Yeah.
and who also has a passion for the cause.
Yeah.
of
Okay.
autism. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No worries. And that was just going to help with what was the thing, funding and
Yes.
just support.
Yeah, very much. We have a support group already that we do once a month for autism. I know, isn't it fantastic? And then we also do the funding for 7 and up,
Okay.
and linking them to services. We also
Yeah.
help with research too. So we are, and also being a naturopath myself, I especially deal with epigenetics and ASD conditions. So
Okay.
for me, it's very important to find the link, because I've seen in my own child
Yeah.
that by changing his diet and bringing in
Hey, can I just get your phone?
Yeah.
the epigenetic stuff, it really makes a difference.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michelle, for that. You've been very helpful in in getting me through my project, so
It's all
thank
right.
you.